All right, folks, welcome. Welcome to the Integration Quest Study Group. This is the last one before the year 2024 closes. So, pretty excited to be here with you all. You may be watching this later on a recording. That is great. If you have any trouble with anything as you're working with this, just reach out to me or any of my associates with Integration Quest, and we'll be glad to help you on that. So, our mission is to get more familiar with AgentForce. Now, 2 weeks ago, we did part one. We had a glitch on the recording. So I'm going to go ahead and review part one and do part two today so that if you're brand new, that's okay. That's okay. We're going to go into it. Now, what I want to do also is go over some details about AgentForce that have been discussed and brought out at some of our events that we went to. I just also came back from Atlanta AgentForce that was last week, I guess it was, or 10 days ago. Actually, it was 10 days ago in Atlanta, Georgia. And so learn more there. Also, in the meantime, Mark Benioff introduced and released the AgentForce 2.0. I know that it's expanded on AgentForce. I don't know all the details yet, so I'm not going to cover that at this point. I'm going to cover what I know. So here we go. Some details about the recording here or in any of our study groups. Behave. There was a time when we had some challenges with some attendees because we do open this up to the public. Why do we do this? Because we're active in the MuleSoft community. We want to provide some material that's going to help you grow your career, and we try to stay on the cutting edge. This is, again, so new that we're learning as we go. So it's really a lot of fun. But our code of conduct is if your mom and dad told you not to do it, then just don't do it. It's very simple. This is me, a little bit about me in the MuleSoft community. I am an ambassador, and I love to have fun with what I do. So if you're in any of my classes, as I'm in classes, I'll tell you to take a dance break. So dancing is a big part of my life as far as breaking the stress sometimes from technology. And so if we hit something like that at the point where we're at in our work, our study group today, we might take a dance break, just saying. But if you're not a member of the MuleSoft community, please join us. We have a lot of fun. We collaborate together, and we certainly learn from one another, share some of our tricks and trades and secrets to help each other grow. So, all about AgentForce. AgentForce came upon the scene right before Dreamforce. It was like we were headed to Dreamforce, and suddenly we hear all this stuff about AgentForce and agents. And so it was like a surprise in many ways, but also, very intriguing to find out more about it. Now, we're familiar with chatbots, and we have a lot of tools that use the chatbots and making customer service a little more streamlined. So what the agents are going to do is actually bring in and interact with not only the chatbots, but the co-pilots of interacting with Einstein AI to gather data for you. So it's really interesting the way that this unfolds, because again, we've been using chatbots for a while, but then to have more of a smarter tool to use that will actually interact and get data based on how you configure it. You're still in control. You're still going to be at the center of designing it and putting it together by giving it the data that it needs. So that's where our agents come in. Okay, our agents they're autonomous, they're intelligent, they're proactive, and you better bet that they're going to be trusted because you're going to put up guardrails. You're going to see some of that. So what is an agent? Okay, if we take a look at what an agent is, we're going to give it a job. Okay, so we're going to define a job for this agent. We're going to expose it to some data that they can have access to be able to get that data, be able to do something with the data. Then they're going to have some actions. Okay, these actions are going to be what they're capable of doing. Okay, so we are going to open up and choose which actions we're going to give a given agent to utilize. So again, you're in control of a lot of this. Now, the guardrails, we're going to give them certain rules. Okay, instructions. They're actually called instructions, but those guardrails are going to be what we are going to tell it what it can do or not do. In our case, we kind of give it, hey, this is, don't do this, only do that, or something. You'll see it when we use it, we'll see it. And then in the channel where they do their work. So again, we've got, we are utilizing technology to make our lives easier, to make our lives a little more streamlined. But at the same time, we again are designing that ability for the agent from from the human side for technology to be utilized. So that's where that trust layer comes in also. Now, interacting on the Salesforce platform, on the Salesforce org, behind the scenes, we're actually, utilizing data that exists for the organization that we're going to be working with. And so as the agent is interacting with that, it's not like it's going out on the open internet or doing anything like that at this, as far as that's concerned. No, it's working within our Salesforce org. So how does that happen? Okay, so that happens by defining what the agent's going to do. We're going to give it a topic. Okay. And I'm sorry about that. Whatever that topic is where it's going to be defined. So we're going to create a topic. We're going to create, and then we'll further give it instructions of what they are going to be doing there. Okay. And so, for example, we can see in this case, these instructions, these are those guardrails. To always offer to look up order status using either a number or an email. Always look up return status before getting a return label. As a first step before processing a return, educate the customer on process using knowledge articles. So provide some backup additional information. So we can give these instructions. In our case, we actually tell it to not do a certain thing. We want it to act in another way. So again, you can tell it the instructions for its guidelines or things it's going to do. And then there is a whole list of actions. Okay. And under the list of actions, we can choose what actions our bot will be able to utilize. So essentially, we're telling it what it can, or what we're allowing it to do, what we're giving it the ability to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off here for a second there, so that it minimizes the bandwidth. There you go. All right. So again, we're going to walk through this and do it. We're going to be utilizing the agent builder to do this. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Diane. Sorry. How do I raise hand here?
There is not a raise hand. So you can go ahead and interrupt me. That's fine, Shankar.
Okay. So in the previous slide, I noticed that for each instruction kind of matches the action. Is that how it is, or is that I'm reading
Yes.
it incorrect?
Yes. I would say that the instructions that you give it are going to have meaning for the actions that they're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know that there's like a one-to-one relationship here, but like if you didn't include this action, would it fail out? I don't know. I've not experimented with it that far.
Okay.
But yeah, they do align, don't they?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go in and create what is called a topic. And under the topics, we'll configure that topic. So all of this occurs in the agent builder. Okay. And once we have created it, we can test out the results. So looking at the format of this, let me go to the next slide, is left side of the screen in the builder is going to be where we configure the topics and the actions. Now, our actions are already created for us, so we will just be creating a topic. The next part is we are able to do a preview by interacting with the agent and seeing the results that we get even in the builder. Okay. So that will be on the right-hand side. And then center screen is where we will see exactly how those actions are going to play out, what the input is, what the output is, what actions are being used here under this topic, which topic is being used. We'll create a topic, but you'll actually see when we're interacting with the agent that it used another topic, because it's configured to use that, allowed to use that. And so you'll see how it will provide the input-output information and a summary as it goes forward. Really very cool. Really very cool. All right. So let's get started. That's a little overview to build your first agent. Now I'm going to put this URL in the chat for you also. Let's see if I can grab this. All right. Nope, it's not letting me grab it. Hold on a minute. Let me get it really quick because this is one of the pages you will need for the workshop. Okay, so you do need to have a Salesforce org. All right, now coming in the chat. There you go. Okay, so let's open up that link. And it's going to look like this. Okay. So if you don't have one already, go ahead and get you need a Trailhead Academy account. Okay. Trailhead account. And you'll find once you have created an account, or if you already have one, get logged into it. You'll be logged into Trailhead account. Okay. And what we are going to be doing is we're going to be following the instructions of this workshop. Now, this workshop is an 8-hour course. Okay. They consider it to be an 8-hour course. There's Data Cloud here. There's Prompt Builder, the agents, service agents, augmentation, retrieval of augmented generation, advanced AI. There's several things here. Our focus for this workshop is under the agents. Okay, so we're going to do the parts regarding the agents, and we're the exercise 1 and exercise 6. Okay, now they're not dependent. Well, 6 is not dependent upon the others being completed, but it is dependent upon exercise 1, I believe, because we've got to configure everything. So this is where we start. The URL is in the chat. It's also on the screen. So if you're watching by video, here is your URL. Pause it. If you have to rewrite it, sorry. I don't think that the chat saves anywhere. So just go ahead and grab that, and that'll bring you here. Go ahead and log in the upper right. Make sure you're on Trailhead and that you're logged into your account as well. That way you get credit for what you're doing. Hey, Ryan, jump on in. You want to do it with us? Do you see what's in the chat?
Let's see. I don't see. Oh, what are we doing? A Trailhead?
Yeah. Well, actually, we're doing part 1 again because mine expired and the video for part 1 got split. So I'm just capturing it all. We're doing the whole thing. Well, not the whole 8 hours. We're doing the whole AgentForce part.
All right. I got it up.
Okay, good. There you go. Get logged in, log into Trailhead Academy, and we're just about to start. So good. Perfect timing. Okay. So we are, like I said, in this workshop, we're targeting just the agent, exercise 1 and 6. But before we do that, we've got to do our setup here. So under the Getting Started segment, upper left, there's a self-service workshop setup. Go ahead and click on that for me. Self-service workshop setup. Okay. And that is going to bring you to Quick Start, Explore the Coral Cloud Sample app. Okay. And so you could go ahead and click on that. And it will bring you now to a get your new custom data cloud playground. Okay, so that's what you want. That's what you want. If you click on I can receive a password reset at the email that you use for your Trailhead Academy, go ahead and click on that box. Okay. Maxim, how are you doing? You able to follow along so far pretty well?
I am, but I'm not like I'm just watching. So.
I gotcha. Okay, good, good. When you go hands-on with it, and if you have any questions, just let me know. And you'll have the recording too. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Shankar, how
Thank
are you doing? I think you may have already done some of this. All right, so just click
Yes,
on.
that's correct. Yes,
Yeah,
I got
okay.
the password. Yeah.
Click on create playground. Okay, create playground. And they will send you an email. Okay, so monitor your email. It actually comes pretty quick. Monitor your email. And what you should receive is an email to finish setting your password. That's going to look like this. And notice that there is a different username. Now, you're not changing your Trailhead Academy password. Okay, this is truly a unique username for this trial org that you're requesting or playground. So copy this username. Okay, copy that username and put it in a safe place. Okay, go put it in a safe place so that you have it. We call it snippet files, wherever you want to put it, where it's in a safe place where you can get it later. Save it. Okay, so your username should look like epic, a series of numbers and letters at orgfarm.th. So that's your username. That's your username. Okay, the next part is click on the link to change your password and reset password. Create your new password. Oh, my passwords don't match. There we go. Answer the question and change the password. And write down your password. Okay, put that in your notes as well. Okay, so that should launch you into your org. Okay, that should launch you into your org. So that's good. We're off to a good start. Everybody okay? Okay, good. Sounds good. All right. So our next step that we want to do, I'm going to move this aside for right now and take a look. So now you'll notice your status here has updated. Okay. Your status is updated. We sent a password reset email. And then you want to come back here where it says connect playground. Okay. So it has gotten you into your org that you just got. But now let's go connect playground. Okay. And click on that. And it's asking you to log in with your new credentials. Okay. With your new credentials. So go grab that username that you saved and your password and go ahead and get logged in. Okay, because this is connecting your playground. Okay, once it does, you'll get another pop-up window. Allow access. We're going to allow access. And now, let's see, I think it's going to, yeah. If you want to connect this to your Trailhead Academy, say yes. Okay, so most of you will go ahead and say yes. However, I have about 4 different Trailhead Academy accounts for training. I am not going to link this to my main one. I've got another one I use. So anyway, you would probably want to go ahead and do this so you get credit. you'll get Trailhead Academy credit for this. So I'm going to say no, make me log in so that I can kind of keep them separate. All right. And I notice there's a very short window of time on this. We've got to knock this out today. Did one earlier. I noticed it's very short on the time frame here. I don't know if they're going to extend that, but we have like a 24-hour period to do this. So it may be after the new year. I do not know, but there is a very short window of time here. Okay, so playground is ready. We can go ahead and launch it, and it'll take you into your org. Okay, so there you are. Now you're logged in. Your other window where you were logged in, I don't think had completed the connection. You can close that previous window. Let's work in the window. Yes, I noticed that, Ryan, is very short. Let's work in the window where it launched us into. Okay. All right. Hey, Ruth, welcome. We just logged on to a Trailhead Academy and just got started with a new playground. So we are working through our steps for setting up self-service workshop setup. This is what we are doing. I'll throw that in the chat again in case it's not showing since you come in. All right, so we have gotten a lot done already. We've gotten our playground ready. We are now ready to go in, and we want to activate. Okay, so it's not here in the instructions. I'm going to tell you this part. So in your org here, let me get some of that out of the way. In your org, I want you to be in your Salesforce org, and I want you to click on Setup in the upper right. The icon, the gear icon in the upper right. Let's click on Setup. Okay, click on Setup. Come to the drop down where you see the word Setup after you've clicked on the gear. All right. And in the quick find area of setup, we want to type in generative. Okay. Really, it's for generative AI. So let's type in generative. G-E-N-E-R. If you just start typing it, it's going to find it. And under the Einstein header, under the Einstein generative AI, we're going to drop down to Einstein setup. Okay. So just do in the setup search box, generative. We've got Einstein generative AI, Einstein setup. Go ahead and click on that. Okay. And this is where you're going to see the Einstein setup. Okay. Maybe so. Yeah, I bet it does, Ryan. I don't look at them. I always close them. In the upper right, we're going to click on the, go ahead and toggle this on. Okay, good. I'm commenting on what the chat. So if you're watching this video and I suddenly blast into a conversation, it's because what's in the chat. And Ryan has mentioned, I think the Coral Cloud README gives some of these steps.
Is the chat not in the video? That would explain a lot.
I don't know. Is it?
Okay. I don't know.
Neither do I. Here, I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do this. Now it is, Ryan. There's always ways to do it. So Ryan recommended this link here. And yeah, very good. So there you go. It's in here also. Oh, that's the data cloud setup. Okay, good. Good. All right. Okay, so back to our mission at hand. Now that's all we need to do. Now we can easily go to our instructions that are in our our setup instructions here. So this is the developer.salesforce.com workshop instructions. Now we're ready to jump in here, and everything we do now from here is going to be pretty much following along. And I do urge you to open up this page because we're going to be copying and pasting a lot of information that we need from this page. Okay. So to begin with, we want to, we've already done this part, sign up for a Salesforce org. Now we need to install and set up the base package. Okay. So to do that, in the upper, we want to go back over to our tab where we have our org. And if you look at the first part of the URL for our org, all the way down to, so it should look something like this: org farm dash a series of number dev ed develop.lightning.force.com. Okay, so I want you to copy that org anyway. Copy that org, and I want you to put that in your snippet file. I want you to go grab your notes again and put your org name in your file so you have it anyway. Okay. Now we want to go back to our instructions, and we're going to copy this pathway here, this extended part, that's a package to install. Okay, a package to install. So I want you to copy this pathway and append that to your org URL. So ultimately, it should look something like this. Let me open up a new tab, and it should look like this. So there's my org. At the very end of it is the packaging install package that I copied from the worksheet. Everybody good? I can't even ask you to do a thumbs up. That's one thing lacking, Ryan. We don't have emojis in here or where you can raise your hand.
Yeah, for instructor led, Kajabi is Zoom's a little better for that part.
Yeah.
Under the people, no,
I
it's
don't
just
see
video.
any emojis on here. Yeah. But so if
Not like
anybody,
a classroom experience.
yeah. But if anybody has an issue, like I mentioned at the very beginning, just come off mute and say, whoa, or if I'm going too fast, just let me know. You know, that's what a workshop or a study group is about. Okay, so this is, if you're not familiar with Salesforce, this is an area that you can go in. Now, we've already dedicated it to the package we want, but there are ways you can go out and install different packages to add to your features for the apps that you're going to use on your Salesforce org. That's what this is. So we already gave it the package we want. It's a dedicated package for Coral Cloud. Right now, our org would not have Coral Cloud added. So we're going to say install for admins only. There are some advanced options here. Compile all Apex in the org. Okay, we'll leave that alone. And then we're going to go ahead and click on install. Okay, go ahead and click on install. You're going to get a pop-up, approve third-party access, and we're going to say yes, and then continue. Okay. So go right ahead and click on continue. It will be installing this. So we'll give it just a little time to do that installation. It does take a few minutes sometimes. So if you need to take a mini break, now's a good. Otherwise, we can tell you a couple things coming up too.
I can help. So I'm doing the long way. So instead of the package installation, the README has you go install all that stuff directly from GitHub. So I'm going that way around. I don't know if that's maybe that's only for people who want to play on hard mode. But
yeah, share your screen if you want.
I'm trying to find the right window because it's the one with Data Cloud in it.
Because this will take like a minute or two to install. Okay, there you go.
So what I did was when I got to this this thing that the deploy the Data Cloud sample app, I just started reading down here. I'm like, oh look, they say to do it by setting up the app like this. So I started, and the part I did while you guys were doing the package is I set up my Salesforce command line. So there's a Salesforce command line here, right? And so that's part of the installation. And then I had to clone the repo. So that's where I am now here. Get remote, what's a good one? Status. How about that?
Yeah.
That doesn't show much. Get remote -v will show you something more. So Trailhead apps, Coral Cloud. So I have the app cloned here.
Okay.
And the instructions for the Git command line is right here in this README. The instructions for it's all in the READMEs if you follow from Trailhead. I didn't add anything.
Okay.
And then I went to Data Cloud setup, but that step was already done. So when I got in here, the next step in the README was to turn on Data Cloud here, and that was already green checked. So I didn't have to do that.
Okay.
Right? But it was in the instructions, so I'm going to it anyway.
I wonder if mine's already turned on. Let me look.
Yeah, I think the playground thing automatically activated that feature. But then right here is the Einstein setup thing you did. Step 1, go to Einstein setup, turn on Einstein. So I didn't have to do that. So now here I am on step 2. From setup, go to agent, and I haven't done this step yet. So this is where I was.
Yeah, we're about to do that one. We were about to do permissions. Okay.
But I don't know where agents is in here. So
search for, well, we're about to do it. So hang on. I wonder if yours has it. It's not there. Type in agent at the top.
Bots.
No, agents. That's not, they're different. Go to the
that's
setup.
Service
Search.
Well, I know, but it didn't find it in search. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Let's see.
So when I go back to the instructions, here's where I'm at. If anybody knows, Einstein Copilot for Salesforce is what I'm trying to turn on. So I could just search for Copilot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe it's in the Data Cloud one.
No, I don't think it's in Data Cloud.
Oh.
Hang on, you'll get to it. It should work if you do it the way that we're doing it next.
Well, yeah, it should also work if
maybe your permission sets, Ryan. I think it's your permission sets.
You may need to refresh. Wait, look at this. You may need to refresh the page to see the agents menu after turning on. So refresh the page.
Did you turned on Einstein generative AI, right?
Yeah, there it is. And there's agents.
There you go. Okay. Don't do it yet. We're about to do it. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, this is as far we are in the hard mode. We're on step. You want to go take over? Is your package installed?
Yep.
It is? Yep. All right. So I will go. This is your show. How do I stop sharing my screen?
The show. We share shows around here.
Yeah. You're up.
All right, I'm going off. Hey, by the way, I'll tell you that later. Exciting things. I'm going off camera though. I have a solution for my bandwidth issue. I'm excited. All right, I'm going to turn off my camera. Okay, so I did check to see on ours with the package, and Data Cloud is set up. So those of us doing it the more streamlined way, perhaps, it is Data Cloud is already, you could put in the search in the upper left for Data Cloud, and I do see that my Data Cloud instance is here, which is really cool because I want to emphasize that the agents are using Data Cloud, so that's why Data Cloud has got to be part of this in this whole process. And so anyway, it'll be utilizing the data in Data Cloud. So back to our instructions. We did do the package install. Now we're going to go to do permissions. We need to and do our permissions. Ryan, and I don't know, you may need to do this. I'm not sure. You'll have to check on your side. So we're going to go do permission sets next. So in our search, so you're going to be still in setup. We're going to come over to the search icon here or search area on the left and type in permissions. Okay. And we want to select the permission sets. Permission sets. And click on permission sets. Now, once in here, we're going to find the Coral Cloud permission set. About midway down of the screen, Coral Cloud permission set. Go ahead and click on that. And from here, we're going to go ahead and manage assignments. Okay, manage assignments.
Oh, this is cool. So I'm not going to take over the screen, but I'm going through the README still. Yeah. All of these, that step is done in command line instead of on the web browser. in the
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of cool. So a lot of this stuff is done.
Oh, you got to share your screen. Hush. I'm going to stop sharing. Share it real
You
quick.
want to see it?
Show what it looks like. Yeah.
Just to see. I'll let you. We won't take everybody off track too much, but it's
no, but it's good. We're running dual. But it is good to see. I actually had installed the CLI for something else.
Yeah. So this is installing metadata. Yeah. So I already cloned the repo. I already logged in on the web, the Coral Cloud. You can kind of see it where right here. So it's green after I logged in. That's my new org. And then I deployed the app and it did all this metadata deployment. And then right here, it's funny because that's right where you were. Assign the Coral Cloud permission set to the default user, right? Cool. So I haven't done that yet. So I'll do it if you want. And then we'll let you do it on the screen.
And then I'll walk you all through this process. So don't go to doing this yet.
But that's it. It's not that. It's not that spectacular, but
it's still cool. I do love command line. To me, that's
fun. All right, I'll stop.
All right, I'll take it back. Okay, so in our case, we're using the browser, and we are going to click on Manage Assignments. Manage Assignments. It's in the top. Okay. And under the Manage Assignments, we're going to add an assignment. Add an assignment. And you're going to see your account. Okay. I go ahead and do my own. And then also I go ahead and click on the org farm epic one as well, but this is your username that you're using. So you're go ahead and choose the 2 system administrators and we'll click on next. Okay, we can see that it acknowledged them. We're going to go ahead bottom right, click on assign. Go ahead and click on assign. Now you might get a pop-up that says it's already assigned or something like that. I've had that occur. Ryan, you got an open mic.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you typing. All right. Now your next command is probably, Ryan, you're probably going to have to do sample data import because that's where we're headed next. In the app launch. Okay. So first of all, what we just did is we've granted sysadmin access in the Coral Cloud. Now we're going to go do an app that's called sample data import. So it is an app. In the app launcher in the upper left, right under the Salesforce Cloud, is go ahead and click on the app launcher, and you're going to get another search box under the app launcher. And I want you to type in sample. Okay, sample data import should populate under the apps. Go ahead and select that. Sample data import. Ryan, was yours a command line?
Yeah, and I think something wasn't ready yet because it gave me an error that Copilot for Salesforce was not available, which I know I turned on. So it might just be timing. I don't know.
I wonder if you go to your org and just go manual now, or go browser.
Well, let's see if my Copilot's turned on first.
Okay. So everyone else will go ahead and click on where it says import sample data. Import sample data is a small little button at the top of the screen. Click on that. It'll run. And then we're going to get a green banner at the top that says it succeeded. Okay. Green banner at the top. Sample data imported successfully. All right. So there you have it.
In my setup, Copilot for Salesforce was certainly not turned on. So that was a clear error. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then after this, we're ready to launch into our Coral Cloud resorts. We're ready to launch into that. So let's, we're going to go to the app launcher once again. Okay. Go to the app launcher once again and type in Coral, and you should see Coral Cloud Resorts. Coral Cloud Resorts. Go ahead and click on that. All right, so it should bring you right into the app where we are ready to go. Everything should now be configured. Our app, our data, our access for various things. Let me see what else we might need to do. So we're going to go back to our setup menu here. We did all of this. This is what's Ryan's talking about also, is there's the command line interface too, but we kind of came right to here that we needed to do. And now we're actually ready for exercise 1. Okay, so this is where part 1, everything else thus far in part 1 is the setup. We're actually going to get in here and we're going to create the agent. Okay, we're going to create the agent. So we're going to make sure that we're going to turn on Einstein, and then we're going to come down and also do which we actually did that already. Ours is done. Step 2 is the agents. Okay?
Can I show my screen? I do want to share something with the video and with everybody. Ready?
Yep.
So when you go through the whole README, and I don't know, maybe when you go through the whole manual also.
You're not sharing.
I was finding the window.
Oh, look at you. You got points, Ryan.
There's a quick start for the Coral Cloud sample app that it'll give you a badge and stuff. So it'll actually verify that your setup is right. So that's all I wanted to share.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That is cool though, because that's what we want. We want to get points. I actually recently bumped up to the next level. I think I'm now 1 level under a Ranger.
Yeah, I'm a lot of badges away from Ranger.
Yeah, but you know what? It's happening. We will get there. Okay, so again, following along with our instructions, we are going to go to the setup icon in the upper right, because we're in where we left off in Coral Cloud Resort app.
But you can share your screen and show us.
Yeah,
I guess that would help.
Yeah.
Hold on. There we go. Okay. So we're in the Coral Cloud Resort app. We launched it. Now in the upper right, we're going to come to the gear to go back into setup. Let's go ahead and click on the gear, come down to setup. Okay, and in exercise 1, it says enable Einstein. I'll just show you that we have. Let's go to type in generative. Okay, and under Einstein AI, Einstein setup, we have already done this. We did this actually at the very beginning. Ours should be on. If yours is not for some reason, turn that on. And the other place we're going to go to is over here under Einstein is agents. Okay, agents. Go ahead and click on agents. And again, there's a toggle about midway down of the screen to the right-hand side. It is off. Let's turn that on. Now this takes just a couple of minutes, well, not even a couple minutes, really less than a minute likely. But what you want to do is refresh this screen if it doesn't automatically. Mine refreshed automatically, but if yours doesn't, go ahead and refresh the screen, reload it. And you should see the agent name Einstein Copilot listed across the bottom. Okay. And go to the far right of that and click the arrow to open up the little menu there. And there is Open in Builder. Open in Builder. Let's go ahead and open that. Now you're in Builder. Remember from our slides, we talked about this already. From our slides, there is the Builder view, right? And so this is what we've just opened up. We've just opened up the Agent Builder overview, okay? Agent Builder. And not everything's going to be populated in yet. Okay, not everything's going to be populated in. It's going to look brand new. We've got a clean canvas here. So let's go ahead. If you've got pop-ups, go ahead and dismiss them. On the left-hand side, you see the topics. Okay, so that's where we're going to be working on building out our new agent by writing and creating a topic. Center is where we're going to see our testing area, input, output. The right side is where we're chatting with Einstein. That's where we're going to be actually testing this out. Okay. So again, I want you to get the developer.salesforce workshop material because you're going to be copying the values on that workshop page over into the locations as we are going forward. So be sure to have that page open. I have put it in the chat a couple times. I'll put it one more time in case it wasn't there when you came in. There you go. But that is the Get Started page. All right. So one thing I did find in doing this, it's not in the instructions, but when I did this before for 2 other presentations, that the general CRM, they say to remove a different topic in the instructions. They say remove the migration default topic. Well, it's not there. Okay. So what I have found is that it's actually the general CRM one, if it didn't behave the way I expected it to, if that is present. So this must be the new one that needs to be deleted, but to leave the single record summary here. So I'm going to click on the little arrow to the right of the general CRM. Brian, does it say anything like that in those other instructions in the README?
Oh my gosh, it's way off in data cloud stuff. So not in the same direction.
Never mind. You have this page though, right? The instructions, these instructions.
I mean, I have those instructions, but I was the one
Trying
step
to do the
far
other.
before this goes many more steps.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
no, that I think they don't follow the same. I think I would eventually get here the long way.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so let's remove this general CRM topic because it will not behave as expected in our instructions. Okay, so remove from agent the general CRM and leave the single record summary. I tried deleting them both. It didn't play nice. Okay, so this is what is working for me, and I'm sharing that with you. Okay, so now we're ready to create our agent. So we're going to come here where it says new and do the drop down, and we're going to create a new topic. And everything here is in your documentation of the your workshop documentation, the topic label. Okay, topic label is customer service assistant. Okay, copy that from the document, paste it in. Classification description. Okay, so now we're going to describe what it will do. And it engages and interacts with the user about any requests related to the resort, like identifying and summarizing records, answering queries, aggregating data, finding objects, updating records, etc., etc. I will put that part in the chat if you don't have that open. Okay, so this is the description. Now we're giving it a scope. And remember when we talked about this at the very beginning, that there are different things that we are telling it to do. So now we're being specific for its scope. Okay, and we're going to say your role is to assist a customer service representative in supporting guests with inquiries about reservations and experiences available at the hotel. All right. So again, we're giving it a scope. Now, scroll down just a little bit more, and there are instructions. These are those guardrails again that we're telling it what to do. And so we're telling it, never ask the user for an ID. Look at this. Never ask the user for an ID. So that's a guardrail. Do not do that. We're telling it a certain thing. Instead, ask for a record that's relevant. Okay, so we've given it specific instructions here, all the way down from just labeling the topic, describing it, giving it a scope of what they are to do, and certain instructions. And look, you can add more instructions to this. You can give it more. Okay, so let's go to the next tab here, or the next screen. Now, these are the agent actions that we are going to allow this this agent to have access to. Again, we are controlling what it can and can't do. In our case, there's what, 32 of them? We're going to let it have all access. But scroll down and take a look at what these are. Log a call, update a customer contact, delete. There was even a delete or cancel an order. So there's various things that it can do here. If you look down through this list of the actions that we are allowing this agent to do. All right, let's click on finish.
So the actions are already pre-built.
Yes, they are.
By the developers?
Yes. When we populated the package in, Shankar, it brought a lot of that work in for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would have to go in and create those, right?
It's not part of the agent developers or...
I would say that it would be part of what you develop. I don't know how they're going to package them, if it's going to be preset things that they are going to be included, you know, like as a preset or what. Yeah. So it may be things that are already done, kind of like functions that are already available, you know? Yeah. Okay. But great comment and question for sure. We will find out. All right, so let's now go and test this out. In the upper right, let's activate this. Okay, activate. So you'll see in the upper right, we're going to activate our topic. Okay. And now we're going to switch focus. And
we had both topics. So both topics are activated?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. And I found that one of them is used in the other, like you'll see when I deleted that one, the single record summary, when I deleted it, one of the actions didn't work right that I asked it to do. So, and then the other, you'll see, I'll point it out when we actually do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's activated now. Now we're going to pretend like we're a user. Let's go to the user side and take a look at how this works. Okay. And Shankar, you got an open mic again?
Oh, my bad.
That's okay. All right. So the best way to get there, you probably have a tab still open. If you want to just jump over to another tab that's got you in the Coral Cloud Resorts, do that. Refresh the screen. Okay. And on this screen, look at the pop-up. It says, say hello to Einstein. Aw. Let's go ahead and say hello to Einstein. Let's go ahead and click on Einstein. And here it pops out on the side, right? So we have a little pop out on the side here. And so we're going to start communicating with Einstein over here, okay, on the bottom right. And we're going to type in, show me any high priority cases that are open. Again, this is right here on your worksheet. So if you want to go ahead, I'll pop it in the chat for you if you want, or you can type it. All right, so we're going to ask him to do that. Show me any high priority cases that are open. So he's taking in our request, our prompt, our question. He's figuring out how he's going to do that. He's got actions he needs to do to make that happen. And then he's going to say, okay, here's your output. Okay. Now, we may have various information on this. I don't know if it's always exactly the same. But at any rate, we have 2 cases that came up as high priority that are still open. All right. And so he's telling us here are the high priority cases open. So imagine yourself just coming into work that day and you want to know, okay, what's needing to be taken care of? What's, high priority? And so here are your 2 high priority cases that are still open. All right. So the next prompt we're going to ask is summarize the first case for me. Okay. Can you summarize the first case for me? So let's put that in. Again, he's going out there, figuring out what actions do I need to do this? How am I going to pull this together? Here's the information of that first case. We just said first case. Okay, so he needed to get that case number from that first case and provide us with a summary. Now, this is the AI component happening here to summarize that case. And we can read that and see the Rodriguez family is disappointed. They had an unexpected cancellation of their whitewater rafting experience. Okay, so they need to cancel their whitewater rafting. Let me get that back up. Okay, so we can see that it used different things this time. Now, it really actually used more AI in that one, right? Now we want to ask another question. And the question this time, I want to know a little bit more about this customer or this contact before I take action. So let's put in now the next prompt. Can you give me an overview of the contact? Again, he's going out there, determining what steps to take and bringing this back based on the actions that are needed for him to get that contact information. Okay. And so now I can find out more, Sophia's information, how she prefers to be communicated with, where they live, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So it's giving me more information about this customer. And then I'm going to ask just a random question. I'm going to ask a random question this time. And this time the question is going to be just how many contacts do we have in Minnesota? She lives in Minnesota. Just how many contacts do we have there? So that's actually going out and looking at all of the contacts that are here in this org. When we did that data dump, that data import, we've got, it's gone out there just to see how many contacts we have in Minnesota, and it's 3. So you can see that this agent is capable of doing various things based on those actions we allowed it, that we assigned to it to use.
Mine got a different look and feel.
Oh, does it? I wonder what browser are you using?
I'm using Google on Mac.
Okay. I wonder. You want to share your screen?
Sure.
Yeah, because I think that mine is looking differently even than like the contact information looks different than what it did even in the past. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. A little
Here's
bit
an
different.
overview of that.
I don't know why mine is showing differently. Yeah. So your output might be a little different. My information on that was a little different too. Yeah. Interesting. Related cases. Yeah. See, why didn't mine show the related cases? I'm trying mine again. So yours actually looks more like what it should be in our manual.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm redoing mine, see if I get a different result, because some of mine was a little different based on what I've seen before. And if you've worked with AI and prompting and stuff, you could get different results from time to time.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking to see. This is the part where it would have been different. So, yeah. So actually what we're showing on the screen now is more like what you'll get. Mine's looking a little different. And now mine looks correct now. I'll show you. I'll go ahead and share.
Okay.
And yeah, this time mine is looking more like how yours looked. Of the overview of the contact. Yeah.
Did you have to do something different?
I refreshed and did it again. Same thing I did again. Yeah. I didn't change any configuration though. Okay. So very good. Now what we're going to do is we want to see how that works.
I think you're sharing both monitors.
Stop sharing. Okay, go ahead and click on stop for your share also.
Oh, it's showing both. Okay, it's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's different than Zoom. I
Okay.
had to learn this one too. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go back behind the scenes and see what really happened in the builder. Okay. So go back to your tab. You probably still have the Agent Builder tab open. So go back to that tab. Or if you don't have it open, you're going to go to Setup. Okay. And under Setup here, we're going to go to Agents. Okay, click on Agents. And then we're going to go ahead and come down here under Einstein Copilot and do the drop down on the far right and open in Builder. Okay, so now we're going to be able to see the guts. Now we're going to be able to see how it's really working. Okay, so we're going to enter the prompt that we started with. Okay, so it's in the chat. Go grab it. And we're going to ask, show me any high priority open, or show me any high priority cases open. Okay, so now you're going to see it in the center of the screen. We're going to actually see what the, how the agent is doing it. Okay, so there you go. Now here is our output of the 2 high priority cases. It used our customer service assistant topic, and under the actions, it used the query records action. Okay, so scroll down a little bit. And in our input query, we said find all the high priority open cases. Okay, so what it did is it found it, explanation. I looked for high priority cases that are still open. And as it came down, okay, notice that there is a priority of high. So it handled the logic for us to go out there and find any of them that are high priority and still open. So this is the criteria that even in our natural language that we gave it, high priority open cases. Okay, here you go. And that's where it came back. The results obtained from the query and details about it. SQL query's been executed. It's just very fascinating to see under the hood how it's really working. Okay. So that's the action. And then our response is down here. Whoops. Response is down here. And it's telling us here are your high priority cases. And it gives us the output we're seeing here. Okay. So we can see how it's actually working here. Let's go to that next prompt. Okay, let's go to that next prompt. Can you summarize the first case for me? Okay, grab it. It's in the chat. Can you summarize this first case for me? Okay, so it's going out there and doing it, but now we can actually see the steps it took to get this information. Okay, so again, this time it's using Employee Copilot out of the box single record summary. Okay, so when I deleted that one in the past, thinking that topic didn't need to be there, this failed. Okay, so that's why it's important to include that, to leave that one here. So we can see under the instructions, it pulled the record ID from the previous case because we asked it to give us a summary of that first case. So it went and got the record ID as a result of that. And the output is such, and it built together the summary of this. Okay. So the agent's response is about that summary, and it's showing us the details of the summary of the case. Okay. So next is the question of, can you give me an overview of the contact? Let's put that one in and take a look at how the bot is actually managing all of this. There it is. Okay. And here it is. And we're once again using our customer service assistant. And we are providing the input. And in the output, it is pulling the record. Okay, so it's identifying her record by name. The get the record now and pulling some of the detailed information here of her history. And then we also have the segment of the output. And a lot of that is, here's an overview of the contact, here's her related cases. It populates all of this data together, and you can see how it's really working within the, the agent is utilizing the different actions. Okay, so you can see the actions here on each of them. If you look at the actions used, you'll see the summarize record action. You'll see the query records actions that the bot is actually, or that the agent is actually using. Okay. How do you like? Pretty interesting, huh? What do you think?
George's.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, it's
Very
pretty
interesting.
impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so that concludes the exercise 1. We're going to transition right over into exercise 6 that uses MuleSoft. Okay, now there are additional ones here that I do encourage you to do as well. You won't have a lot of time right now. The playground is set for 24-hour, but hopefully they used to give us a week. So I'm not sure why that window has narrowed, but if I can find out any more information on a longer playground that you can work in to work through some of this, because like I said, this whole course, the data cloud, the prompt builder, all of this is takes 8 hours, really. But we're going to go, yes.
So if everybody who's in this study group wants to contact us on Slack, we may be able to give them one, right?
Yes.
Based on our demo org approval.
Oh, yeah.
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 But
did you take care of that?
I did.
Ah!
So you guys are just contact us privately if you need a longer org. We'll see.
Right.
We're not sure ours will work, but we're willing to explore.
Yeah. And if you're a MuleSoft meetup leader and you're doing this workshop for any of the meetups, reach out to us also, because there's also another avenue there. But definitely, we are continuing to build out hands-on ability with Integration Quest. And I kind of started the ball rolling for that to happen. Ryan completed some things this morning. Woohoo! So that's sooner than later. So that's very exciting. All right. So we completed, there is a summary here and it tells you what's next in some of the other exercises, but let's jump over to exercise 6, because let's face it, we are muleys. And so we do muley things. We want to have this agent interacting with a Mule API. Okay. So that's what we're going to do next. Click over into exercise 6 and let's get ready. Okay. So going to start off, we are in Agent Builder. We can, let's see, go back, use the back arrow. Yep, we can leave it. That's fine. Okay, and under Setup, we're going to do the quick find for what is known as named credentials. Okay, what this is going to do is going to allow this Salesforce org to seamlessly interface with an Anypoint Platform org. So right now, this org that we have, the Salesforce org, doesn't even know about a MuleSoft API. Okay, so we're going to go to named credentials, click on named. And under named credentials, create a new credential. There is an endpoint here. Well, we're not doing that one. So under the name credentials, we're going to click on new. Okay, do the drop down new, and we're going to do new legacy. New legacy. Okay, so for the name credentials, all of this information is on your, okay. So we want to go ahead and it's going to be called the reward API. That's the label, reward API. If you click out of the box of the label, it'll populate the actual name in there also. And for the URL, we're going to go ahead and paste in the URL. I'll go ahead and throw it in the chat for you. Oh, come on. Do not freeze. There you go. Okay, that's the URL if you don't happen to have that open. Okay, so that's all we're doing here. Quick review. We put a label in there. If you click out of the box of the label, it'll auto-populate the name in there. And then we also have the URL. So we're going to save this. Right above there is a save. Go ahead and click on save. And it comes back with just a review of what we did. So we have the label and the URL and everything looks good there. Okay. So we have begun with the first step to interact with a Mule API. We gave it the URL of that API. Okay. So that's what is here. All right. The next part is up here in the upper left. Actually, if you go back to named credentials, click on named credentials once again. And there is a tab right next to credentials because we just named it. Now you see your reward API that's here with the URL of your Mule API. Now we're going to click on external credentials because we've got to give it our login credentials for that Anypoint Platform account. So click on external credentials. We're going to create a new one. Hold on a minute. Oh, they're doing this a little differently. Why are they doing it differently? Hold on, let me check something. Yeah. They're using external services. They're not using external credentials. Okay, my bad. I led you in the wrong direction. But good thing we caught it. That's another way to do it, folks. We're doing it differently here, though. Okay, so we're looking for external services instead. External services. Okay, you'll find it. It'll be under integrations. Just type in external services. Aha. There you go. Okay, so external service come up. This is another way to integrate with Anypoint Form. There's Mule Services, which was the other route that I was taking, a little different. But at any rate, this is the way we're going. And we're going to add an external service. Add an external service. Okay. Either button will take you to the same place. There's two. And once we're here, we want to reroute to MuleSoft services. User interface. Reroute to MuleSoft services. Okay, go ahead and click on the reroute. And bottom right, once you click on the route, there is going to be a next button in the bottom right of the screen. Okay, bottom right. Go ahead and click on that. And now it says you want to route to MuleSoft services, create an external service, and then we're going to confirm. Okay. So now it's going to bring us to MuleSoft service. Okay, that was a long way to get here, but we're following their instructions. I would have just come here, but that's okay. All right, so in the category of, let me see, the login, upper right, login. And now we're going to log into AnyPoint platform from here. We're going to use the US Cloud. Okay, US Cloud, and we're going to click on login. I'll tell you, most of the work is just getting everything configured. So now you need to log in, and the login password is here on your sheet, and put both of them in the chat. I think it's going to create it, Maxim. I think that's what it's doing. I think you watch. I bet you it's going to have the name credentials on it. Is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I've not done this exercise as many as I have done the first part. I've done this one like twice. So, come on. So let's copy the username and password. And let's go ahead and log in here. And sometimes this can be a little tricky. Do the sign in. You should get, goodness sakes, my vault's driving us nuts. Now you should have a confirm your external access. And we're going to click on confirm. And now sometimes it looks like nothing happened. Okay. But we're going to refresh this screen and see if it does populate. Not showing yet. I'm going to try it again. Log in. Confirm. Okay. And then it should show. If you have to do it again, you might have to do it again. Then it should show with the username Jane Doe Coral Cloud Gmail. Okay. All right. So our next step that we're going to do is we're going to now bring it in as a MuleSoft service to be inside of Salesforce. So we're going to click on the import here. Import. And inside of the import services, we're going to choose the Coral Cloud Rewards API, the latest one. Okay. Coral Cloud's Rewards API 1.0.1. And we'll click on next. Okay. Now we're going to name this. The name is going to be Rewards. The description is fine as it is, but the name credential is our API. Remember, we created that name credential. Okay, we created that. Click on Reward API and save and next. Okay, and these are all the endpoints of that API that are out there. We have a get members, post members, get by ID, get rewards, post rewards. There's all these endpoints in this. Okay. Hey, if you want to, just for fun, let's go to AnyPoint and look at that endpoint. It's got to be an exchange. Use your username and password to get in there. I'll do it if you But be sure to check that out. Okay. We're pausing just a minute. Oh, I see why. All right. So here we are. And let's go to Exchange. And there's the API right there. Here's our endpoints. Okay. So we can see the details of this API here. Okay. We can see the details of the endpoints of this API. So we're going to select them all. We're going to say, yeah, we can use them all. Now, if you wanted to limit it, if you had a reason to limit it, you could limit it to whatever operations you wanted it to have access for. Maybe you don't want posts out there for Salesforce. Ideally, you would want all of them. I do not get this linking to a name credential. What does it actually do? I select a MuleSoft service, but somehow need to link it to a name credential. I think as it is going through that process here, we've got to tell it what name credential we want it to associate with.
But what does it mean? Why?
Oh, so that it will know the URL of the API. And
but we are literally selecting an API in MuleSoft in any point, so it should have an API, a URL already.
It should, but we've also selected the version we want. I'll show you something also in a minute about the I have not ever approached with this.
It didn't.
I
wasn't watching the screen where you selected the API, but Max, in order to get a URL, you'd have to choose an API instance, right?
Yeah, sure.
Did we choose one, or did we just choose an API from Exchange?
We chose a version.
Yeah.
A version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a version can have multiple instances in Exchange.
Correct.
True. Good point. See, if we were to do it again,
It'd be nice if it would let you pick the instance. That's, I think, what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand exactly that link. So like I'm choosing an API, right? A version which I would like to use, and then I'm somehow linking it to a manually entered URL. So what's the point? I mean, is it some workaround? Because it's not like
It looks like it to me. It looks like there's a.
What's happening is that the link, the API that you're connecting to is to the exchange, that you are pulling the data from the exchange with all the resources available in the API. But the URL itself is what is running on the runtime manager or the runtime.
Yeah.
That's connecting to that. So when you try to execute, it would be connecting to that URL to wherever servers it's running, right? It's look like that's a AWS cloud installation. So it's going there, and that's that URL. So you can have it in on-prem as well. And if you want to, for whatever reason, if you have it on-prem, that's the URL you'll probably provide in the credential, while this is coming from the one that we are looking at is coming from the exchange. That's what I'm reading from there.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you're right. And this is also what Ryan says. This is selecting an instance. I'm just thinking why it's so, indirect.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. You're
Right.
right. I see. You're saying that we should be able to select that instance as part of this workflow.
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds logical
True. Yeah.
to me.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and let me tell you, the progression.
What if we did not? What if they did not create that named principal or named credentials earlier? We did that step.
You need to select one when you're creating a service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, on the client side, it needs to have some way to access it needs to have not only a URL, it also needs authentication information.
Yeah, and we also
Correct.
didn't enter any authentication information, so I need to enter it in named service, right? If I'm using, I don't know, OAuth or what was it, client ID and secrets in MuleSoft. So it's part of the named credentials, right? The
It
authentication.
is, yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Which now I'm still learning my Salesforce stuff too, but I think there needs to be an abstraction there so that sometimes it can impersonate the active user.
Okay.
Right. So, and I don't know how a name credential does that, but it's an extra layer there.
Mm-hmm. See, under the name credentials, it did the relationship, and this is I have since I started teaching this course of hyperautomation that uses these pieces. When we it was more manual than it has become now. But your elements are that you have to have the named credential, like what we did, and then you have to have the external credential, the credentials that we actually have to do a permission set as well. So in this portion, these are automatically done through the MuleSoft services. This auto populates and gets completed because look what it has. We have our AnyPoint platform login. And when we did that, it created an external credential telling it that it's an OAuth 2.0. And we put our credentials in there. So it still has an external credential that it's using. And when we ended up doing the MuleSoft service, we started off by saying, here is the API. This is what we call it. This is the URL that you're going to use for this API. And we're using a legacy type. To me, what that tells me, Mac, is that this ultimately is using a previous manual configuration that I bet you is going to be upgraded. Because when we do this, even in the course now, and we want to bring in our we created, we have to manually do the external credential first with our authentication, our name credential next, call it something, and associate the permission set. So that's the process currently to then bring this in and choose your version and do all of this. So to answer your question, there seems to be a, yes, we did this by having the MuleSoft service like we had, and we brought this in through here. Our credentials are coming out of this. The automatically populate that authentication as we saw that being used as our login MuleSoft service. And see, even on here, look what it's showing here. No authentication here. I think that
that's what I was wondering.
That play here. Yeah. So when we create it for real, and go through that whole process, the authentication method that it is actually it would show the authentication as basic auth, because that's what we use that course or whatever it was. But great question. You see it, Ryan?
I came on camera to subtly remind you of the amount of time left in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to use slides to finish. I don't know.
Anyway, so we have completed what we needed to do for the setup. Now we are ready to actually use it as a flow. So wherever we were, you should have completed selecting all of those operations. I think I finished mine out. So if you didn't do that, be sure to select all of the operations and finish. Click finish. Now we're ready to go create a flow. So this is pretty quick. This is a conclusion. All right. So under setup search over here on the upper left, we're going to type in flows. And under process automation, we will click on flows. Okay. So we're going to create a new flow. All right. So you're in flows. And by the way, you're going to see a bunch of flows. Some of these are part of the package that we populated in. Even if you create a trial org, there's going to be a lot over here in the flow area that you could use. They bundle it in, but we're going to do a new flow up here. Let's click on new flow. Okay. And it's going to be that we start this from scratch. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Start from scratch. Click on next. Auto launched flow. Okay. Auto launched flow. No trigger. Auto launched flow. No trigger. Create. And what we need to do is now you're ready to write a flow. Welcome to Flow Builder. This is where you can create flows in Flow Builder. On the left-hand side, there's a little icon here that is the toolbox. Okay, a little icon that's a toolbox. Let's go ahead and click that open. Click that open. And we're going to come down to new resource. New resource. Now we're going to add some variables here. It's pretty easy. And your data and your information for your variable right here on your document that we're using. So resource type is going to be variable. The API name, copy that from your list, is going to be reward ID. Okay. The description, the reward ID that has reward points associated with it. And then we need to tell it what the data type is. It's going to be a number. Okay. This one is going for input. Okay. So the reward ID is going to be coming into the flow as something available for input. So quick review, it's a variable type. API name is reward ID. We put in a description. It's data type number. And decimal places 2 and available for input. And click done. All right. We're going to add another one. Click new resource. This one is going to be another for the API name. Somebody's got an open mic. Reward points of the Coral customer. Coral Cloud customer. All right. And the data type this time is text. Text. And this one is available for output. Available for output. Again, variable, API name is reward points. It's a text. And it's available for output. Done. All right. So now we're going to add our action here. So now you're in the center of the screen, right underneath the auto launch flow start, and you're going to mouse over the plus sign. This opens up your options. We're going to select an action. Okay, select an action. And this is where in the upper right, we can actions. I want you to type in get rewards. Okay, get rewards. These are the endpoints. Nowhere in the endpoints it says external service rewards. Okay, rewards or get rewards by ID. So those are the API endpoints. I want you to click on the rewards by reward ID. Okay, rewards by reward ID. And we're going to label this Again, it's number 3 of your instructions. Get reward points by reward ID. Go ahead and click out of the box of the label. It will create your API name and your description. Okay, and then come down here to the reward ID. Come to the bottom down here where it says reward ID, and you're going to put curly bracket, exclamation, reward ID, close the curly bracket. Okay, and that's the syntax for that variable. That's the syntax for the variable that we created. All right. And let's close. Well, first of all, let's save this. Okay. Save this. All right. Click save. So now we're going to save our flow. Okay. In the chat, I'll put the name of what we're saving it to. Get customer reward points. When you click out of the box, it'll put the API name there. Okay, Ryan, talk to you later. The description is this flow fetches customer reward point for a given ID. Click save. Okay, it's saving it. Now we've got we've got a couple more things to add here. All right, so this particular element, these are called elements. This particular element is going to go to that endpoint rewards based on the ID. Okay, so let's go ahead in the upper right here. You can see an X to close this element. All right, that one's done. We're good. We're going to add another element under this. So go ahead and click on the plus sign under this. Open it up. And we're going to select assignment. Assignment. Go ahead and click on assignment. Okay. The label of this assignment, it's in your manual or in your notes from the workshop details. And this is going to be output of the API call. Okay, if you click for you and the description, storing the output of the reward points API call. Okay. And now we need to do the assignments. Okay, now we need to do the assignment. So position your cursor in the variable here. Position your cursor in the variable and you should see reward point. Okay, that's our variable we created, reward points. And the operator says equals. That's good. And then under the value, go ahead and click in the value. And we want the get reward by ID. Hold on a minute, I'll get this for you. Get reward by ID. And we are after the points required output. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the chat for you of the actual name of the value that we're using. Okay, you can paste that in or you can navigate to it. Okay, so this should be the reward output from, let me see, it's in the chat. Get reward points by ID, 200 points required. So that's what that should be for there. And we're ready to test it. Okay, let's save it again. We already saved it and named it, but come up to the upper right and save. Okay, save it. And now we're going to activate. Okay, You want to act. Okay. So it should be activated. So what this is going to do, it's going to be launched by something going out to get reward points from the API, the Mule API, and come back with this value. So to do that, we're going to go to Agent Actions. Okay, we're going to create an action. So we're going to come out of this flow here. Just about done. Back arrow up here. Okay. And we're going to the quick find, type in Agent Actions. Agent Actions. Okay, we're going to create an agent action. Okay, so under these actions, once this opens up, we're going to add a new agent action. Now, you might recognize some of these. These are the 32 agent actions that we gave our agent access to, right? So this is a new agent actions. So Shankar, when you were asking about this is where they would come from. Some of them may be populated in, some of them may be that we are adding them in. Okay, so the referenced action type, let's do the drop down here. Referenced action type is a flow. We just created that flow and it's activated. The reference action is, do the drop down here, get customer reward points. Get customer reward points. The agent action label and the API name have populated in. That's fine. Now we'll go to next. Now we'll go to next. Okay, and here it's showing us the input on the left. Okay, and we want it to know that that reward ID has a reward point associated and it is required for input. Required for input. Okay. And then on the other side, on the output side, this is going to be where we want to choose show in conversation. Okay. Show in conversation. So quick review. The action on this page, we only required input on the left and show in conversation on the right. That's it. And we're ready to click on finish. Okay, now we need to get our agent to use it. Okay, so we're going to go to our agents now, upper left. So it's been added. Look, get customer rewards. That is going to tag our flow. So let's type in the search at the top, agents. Okay, search for agents and click on agents. And we're back here again. Look here. Okay, come over to the right, do the drop down, and we're going to open it in Builder. Open in Builder, and we want to add that action to our customer service agent, to our topic over here. Okay, so we want to deactivate this. Upper right, deactivate. Okay, deactivate. Say okay. Okay, and now in our customer service, there's a way to do this. We want to edit this. Click on Customer Service Assist Edit. And we want to add this topic's action. This topic's action. Okay. And this is where we want to find our new one, get customer reward points. Okay, so we want to find the new one. Go to new, add from assets library. And in this box that pops up is where we should find our get reward, our get customer rewards points. It should be listed here. Get customer rewards points. Get customer reward points. Should be listed. It's a flow. And we'll click on finish. Okay, click on finish. And now if you notice, this topic now has 33 items instead of 32. And let's try it out. Okay, so we can ask it. We can ask it. And coming in the chat, what we're going to ask it. Almost done. We're almost done. All right, so here we're going to put ask for reward ID when the user wants rewards points. Make sure the reward ID is a number. Wait a minute. Oh, no. This does not need to be here. My apologies. It actually needs to be in the instructions. That's not where it needs to be. We need to put an ID over there. Let's go back to the topic configuration. Topic configuration. And come down. Remember before we said never ask the user for an ID? We're adding an instruction. Okay, so back to add instructions. And here we're going to paste in what I put in the chat. Ask for a reward ID when the user wants reward points. Make sure the reward ID is a number. Okay, and now we want to save that. Save that. All right, so now our topic should be ready to go. We're going to activate it up here in the upper right. And we're just going to stay here in the conversation preview, refresh the screen. Okay. And now it's ready for our next test here. We're going to test it. And we're going to say, get me the reward points. And here is the reward ID. And let's see what it comes back with. It should be out there to our Mule app, to details from that API. And it should come back with a total number of reward points. Okay. So we can see its behavior. Let me get the reward for this ID. And it sent in the reward ID, sent back the reward point number. And we can actually see, of course, you know, the value of that in the process of getting the reward points. So there you have it. Did yours work?
Obviously, yes. I just watched you, so ours.
Yes, good, Mac. Yay, we will celebrate together. Okay, so
Yes,
we went in. Did you, Shankar?
I got a different number though, yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. You can do different numbers because it's doing random data off of the way the data is being randomly done. So we created a relationship with Salesforce to MuleSoft, and that's going to be continually changing, by the way. That's getting better and better. We used to have to do a lot more manual. It's better now, and I'm already seeing hints of that being totally streamlined. So that will likely change. We created the flow to get the reward points. We added it, or I should say we added an action, had our topic actually use that action. So we added to that list of actions, and voila, you can see the agent is working. So anyway, that concludes our mission here on that particular exercise. There are other exercises you can work with in the meantime too that interact flows and things like that. So please, while you have an account, feel free to do that. But to wrap it up, a couple things I wanted to mention to you is that we do have, like Ryan mentioned, an organization that will be glad that, we do ask for a small fee to be a part of that, but reach out to us privately on that. We'll be glad to go over details. And also, I always like to tell you about upcoming events. TDX is coming in March, and you can rest assured there will be workshops and more details about. And if you would like to go, I have a coupon here, or a code that gets you in for $99. And so if you'd like to jot that code down, or anyone watching the recording, and you would like to use that, it is for friends and family. And hey, you're friends, so you're welcome to use that code. There is also a hackathon March 3rd to 4th. So I am looking at that very closely. I'm about to make a commitment on that. So at any rate, would love to see you there and be a part of that. So that concludes what our mission for today, our AgentForce mission. So any questions or comments or anything before we call it a day?
It's an awesome, that looks awesome, Diane. Thank you for, as always, wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And if you have questions or other questions we can go over, I just want to be mindful. It did go longer than normal. Our normal study groups run an hour and a half is what we target. If it's, sometimes we run them a little shorter than that, but this was a lot to cover and to answer questions. But surrounding that, the name credential, external credential, and the MuleSoft service, Mac, you're going to see a lot of maturity in that area. And like, I don't think I have a platform account right now or a Salesforce org that I could show you like immediately to give you a window into what those other pieces look like the way we're currently teaching that. But at any rate, there's, I'll be glad to share that with you outside of this, study group for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all. Have a happy new year. I will see you all in upcoming study groups, I'm sure. Yep. Great. Thank you so much as well. Yep. So if you're watching on the recording, please give us comments. Let me know if yours worked, if it didn't, if you have any questions. I'm glad to help you all with that. Sorry about the window of time available on these orgs right now. I don't know if they're going to extend that. We used to have a week for it when we first started using that. So I don't know if they're going to upgrade that or what the case may be. But like Ryan said, we've got something stewing. So if you're interested, reach out to us. And we've got possibility of having that completed out very soon, which would be a Salesforce org as well as a MuleSoft Anypoint platform that's all for training. So very excited about that. We've got one now that's a purchase one that we're having to pay for. And now we're hopefully getting one that's a partner org. And if you're familiar with what that means, is they grant you one to use for just like this, like what we're doing now. So anyway, thanks so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah. Cheers. Have a good
Cheers.